Welcome, everybody, to a brand new episode of the ADG Podcast. We have a great show for you today. We got sports, we got an interview, we got a top five, and we got a brand new movie review that I know Jake is thrilled, and I mean thrilled, to talk about. All that and more coming up on the ADG Podcast.
What's it like in the journalism program? That's why last week he's like, fuck this guy, fuck that guy, fuck this guy. You're cool, but fuck this guy.
Someone, whoever does their Twitter account, was offended by what the ADG podcast had to say on Twitter. All controversial now. Nowhere. You know why? Because they just thought of this shit last week and they put it in a movie. Now,
so I'm not have to worry about catching anything from Jake or vice versa. So he's good.
Catch some manners, Darren.
All your asshole attitude is rubbing off on me. Finally. It only took about 3 years. So, hey, I wonder how long that recording session was. Okay, Ben, you ready? Yeah. All right, thank you.
We're done.
It'd be nice. I'm going to give it a solid 2.5 out of 5.
Oh, wow. All right. Welcome to the ADG podcast. It's been a hot minute since we've been here. Happy New Year! It's end of January. we wait until everything sizzles and then we jump into the fire.
That's right.
That's how it is.
Just when you thought we were out, we pull you back in.
That's right. And it's going to get spicy on this episode today.
Oh, Jake, we got so much to talk about. You have no idea. And we have a special guest coming up on the podcast. We're so excited. This is we love this guest when he comes on.
He's a tradition. He's a tradition on the show.
He makes my heart happy, and he makes my stomach full when he talks about all the good food that he likes to barbecue. Sean Baligian will join us later, so there you go. Stick around for him. We're gonna talk everything. Lions, the Lions. They made a couple moves. Mm-hmm. You know, yep. Some people came in, other people supposedly won out. We'll find out what he has to say.
But we'll get to that because let's get to him right now.
All right. So join us to talk everything about sports, especially the Lions, and also barbecue, and we might talk some hockey. Sean Baligian from Woodward Sports Network joins us. Sean, welcome to the ADG podcast, my friend.
Hey, it's a pleasure to talk to you guys again. How's everything going?
We're good. We're kind of in a lockdown here in beautiful Ontario, but no OHL hockey. But thank God the NHL is back. That's all I can say.
I'm going to tell you guys, honest to goodness, I can't tell you how much I enjoy my NHL app. Like I'm not. It really is one of those things that. I just sit in front of the television each night, and I don't know if you guys know how it works. I just pick any game I want to watch. It's the best. Obviously I'm watching the Wings and the Habs more than anything else, but
right.
That to me it's just beautiful. I miss going to the rink though. I mean, I miss it like crazy. They don't have the high schools going on here yet. Hopefully that starts really soon. And it seems like we talk about this every time I chat with you guys. I miss the O more than you. I couldn't even put into words how much I miss that league. It was so much fun doing broadcasts in the league, and then even the last few years just going as a fan. And it's a shame for these kids. My heart breaks.
Yeah,
that's true.
Absolutely. Especially, at least over there in Michigan, you guys have the U.S. Developmental League over there. So
yep.
You guys, these kids, they can still play and play against one another all year round, and obviously it's working because you guys whooped our Canadian butts at the World Juniors this past January. So congrats to you over there for celebrating their gold medal.
The NTDP is it's obviously other countries have kind of modeled what they do after it and everything. And I you know what? I said this in the couple of years that I worked there, and I have no problem saying it. I mean, no disrespect. The Ontario Hockey League's just a better hockey league than the USHL. I mean, and I know some people get, for lack of a better term, pissy when somebody says that, but I think, we have to be honest about things like that. It's just a better league. And, as well as the USHL is producing guys. And as you mentioned, the national program, starting there in essence is outstanding. The OHL is something different. And, You know, it's crazy. It just never caught on this side of the border. It just, the Whalers had their kind of the homegrown fan base and everything, and people just didn't get it over here, and it's shocking to me. Even when they won the league going back to 07 and went to the Memorial Cup, people just didn't gravitate to it in mass. It was really, really strange. So, I say this all the time, and I mean no disrespect to Red Wing fans when I say this. The term hockey town is just not applicable at all. Is it a Red Wing town? Well, of course it is. But the term hockey town, unless it has the winged wheel, it just seems like people don't gravitate in mass to other hockey around here, and that's a shame.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a shame because there's so much good hockey, especially that goes on in Michigan. That aside from the Red Wings, people should really venture out and try to get a glimpse of that.
No doubt.
Sure. Before we get into it, Sean, I just want you to talk to us about what made you decide to take on the new adventure of joining Woodward Sports Network.
No, hey, I appreciate you guys asking. I'm obviously doing things, calling games, and doing some things at WJR still, even with the Lions leaving and everything. And the guy who basically is the owner of Woodward Sports is a guy by the name of Chad Johnson, who owns Lady Jane's. Mm-hmm. And I've known Chad for years, going back to the days at the Fan and everything. And they approached me, gosh, I want to say late summer, and said, would you have any interest in something like this? And I said, well, I'm intrigued, let's talk about it and everything. And then when they kind of told me, some of the guys that, they wanted me to, do a show with or be a part of it and everything. I've known Joique Bell since, his senior year in college, going back to 2009. So there was familiarity there. And I think you guys know, I mean, Darren McCarty's one of those guys that, not only did I cover him way back when, even before the Red Wings, in his time when he was a stud for Belleville, but, I covered him with the Wings, and over the years, as cheesy as it sounds, we've just become friends and everything. So, it intrigued me, and I like the format. I think it's fun. And then we're trying to have fun every day. So, basically, I think what we're trying to accomplish is just be an alternative out here, and I think an alternative is a good thing. I really do. I think it's a great thing. I think for years, the Ticket and the Fan had a fantastic rivalry, obviously, until, the Ticket moved to FM, and then, I mean, it was over. But I would hope that sports fans in this town would want an alternative. You know what I mean? I don't think an alternative is bad. It's not like we're going to go beat the Ticket or anything like that. I mean, obviously they're a powerhouse, but it really appealed to me because it was different. And, having the opportunity to do a show with Joique, who, guys, if you haven't figured, he is a funny guy. He's a really funny guy. He's got a wicked sense of humor. So those things kind of appealed to me. And, I said I'll do it on one condition. Let me do a barbecue show as well. So, we were able to pull that off.
Yes, I saw something on social media today that you are a proud owner of a new smoker. Is this right?
Yeah, you know what? This is number 2 now. My Traeger's on the DL right now. He's week to week on the DL until a new part comes in. But you know what? Instead of waiting a couple of weeks, I'm like, I'm just gonna go buy another one. So I went and bought. I don't know how familiar you guys are with it, but I went and bought what's called a Masterbuilt. It's a darn good smoker. It is the best way to put it. It's more for the smaller things. Like I couldn't put a 17-pound brisket in there. I probably couldn't. I could probably fit in a pulled pork in there, Boston butter, something like that. But it's more for the ribs and the wings and stuff like that. So I figured I need one anyway, and the price was right. And, I did it. And, this is something like when COVID started, my buddies and I just decided that we were going to create our own bubble, especially like once, the hockey season started in early August. And we I'm not joking, guys. We smoked every day, every single day. And I know that sounds like a rap song, but not that type of smoke. We smoked meat every day, So it was a blast. And you know what? It was funny because we all kind of look back at it now, and it was a great distraction when I think we all needed a distraction during that crap of COVID and everything being locked down and everything. So, it was fun, and we just continued it. So, I'm having a bunch of buddies over in a couple weeks, and guys that I've known for a long time, and some guys that I've met through the business, and we're having a big shindig. I would invite you guys too, but then there's that silly border thing that you'd have.
The border thing might cause a problem.
Yeah, that might. But no, really, I love doing it. I'm not joking. It is 40 people coming over. I got this. You know what I mean? I love cooking. It's a heck of a lot of fun.
No, because those are the two, I think, the best things that you could think of: sports and meat.
Absolutely.
It's like, what gets better than that, I guess.
It's so funny from back in the day, and it's. I talked to a lot of my former coworkers when Jamie Samuelson, passed away in the summertime, and it was really funny, kind of reconnecting with some guys that, quite frankly, I hadn't talked to in a few years. We all go our separate way, right. And I hadn't had a real conversation with a few of the guys and everything in quite some time. And even though I worked with a few of those guys at Fox, I had left Fox. 2 years ago now. So, I didn't get a chance to see him. And it's funny how many things people remember. And the thing that, honest to goodness, there is not a period of 2 or 3 days go by where somebody doesn't mention Mita to me, the big barbecue that we did and everything. So it's amazing the stuff that people remember. And heck, I haven't done that event in, 12 years. So it's kind of funny how that works out.
It's due for a comeback then.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
See, Sean, with, by the way, thank you for the drop a few minutes ago. That's in the system. Well, for sure. But with a new format, and what I'm really liking about it is you're doing something nobody else is doing, especially here local, is your guys are all online, you're doing everything digital, everything's available at any time online. And that's something, I think you guys are at the head of this, because everybody else would be behind you in the next couple of years trying to replicate what you guys are doing. So having you and Joique on a show is, especially at the very beginning of this type of format, to be out there in the media is just great.
No, I agree with you. And again, part of what makes this great is, in my humble opinion, part of what has hurt the radio business and the sports radio business as well is it's become, so corporate. It's a company owns, 50 different stations and everything, instead of a guy that's sitting there, hands-on, ma and pa type of thing. And Chad Johnson is just a great guy. I don't think people realize how much he's involved in philanthropy as well. And he is sparing no expense to make this happen. And look, what the product looks like right now and what it's going to look like in a month are two different places. Think about last month and, some of the hiccups we had, because as you mentioned, this is a new venture. This is something brand new, but you know what? It's fun. The ride's enjoyable. I'm involved with, guys that I really like and everything. And there's some new guys that, I haven't been familiar with and all that. But, we have some more shows coming up and everything. So that's pretty cool too.
Yeah, no, exactly. You mentioned the more shows. I know that there's talks of a hockey show, obviously, something to get McCarty involved with. So anytime that you can hear NHL hockey from an actual NHL hockey player who was part of one of the greatest rivalries in all of sports, that's just a winning combination.
No, you're right. Darren and I do a show on Friday on WJR, and we purposely tell each other before every show, let's not geek out, because I don't think people realize what a big sports fan Darren is. But when he and I get together, all we do is we end up talking hockey. So we have to make that pledge to each other, not to talk too much hockey and everything. It was funny. We did a thing last week with Matt Cook, And I'm sure you guys will remember Matt, and certainly his days with the Spits and everything.
That's right.
And it was heaven on earth. I mean, I'm not joking. It was like 30 minutes of just talking about just some classic stuff. And you look at the clock and you're like, holy crap, it felt like 2 minutes, and we had all been chatting for like 30 minutes. So, it's I mean, you guys know over here, there just aren't a lot of people that do it. Me and my group of friends do it, but in the sports media, and I'm not disrespecting anybody, there just aren't a lot of people that do it. So,
That's true.
we tend to kind of flock together and everything.
Exactly. So basically, one of the main reasons to have you on is to talk about everything that's happened with the Lions since pretty much they've hired their new GM. They get a new GM, they get a new head coach. Pretty much seems like everybody wants to come to Detroit. Seems like Detroit has become the new Miami when LeBron James took his talents to South Beach. Just give us your thoughts on, obviously it was a long drawn out interview process when it came to the GM and head coach being interviewed at the same time. Where do you see this team? Obviously this is a completely different team, completely different front office, and new head coach, new philosophy, new way of thinking. What can Detroit Lions fan expect from this new regime? Because we've been hurt nothing. We've been hurt in the past so many times. So, Sean, talk us through it.
Yeah, you know what? I think best case scenario, you can kind of hope for what has transpired in Miami and Arizona the last couple of years. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that people looked at what they had at their disposal and said, what a mess. It's going to take years to fix this. And both of those teams in the span of a couple of years greatly improved, and both of them nearly made the playoffs this year. Heck, Miami had 10 wins and ended up sitting at home. So I think that's best case scenario. I think a more realistic scenario is to get back to a level of mediocrity, real mediocrity, where you
we thrive to be mediocre.
Yeah, isn't that? Well, and hey, listen, you guys know I hate that crap. I hate it. There's nothing worse. When I hear people wax poetically about the Jim Caldwell era, I want to puke. It drives me out of
so
my
good
mind.
average.
Oh, stop! It drives me nuts. So, but you know what? Maybe a year after that, you're ready to make that jump. You're maybe ready to do a Cleveland Brown. You have to like what they did on paper. You do. You have to like what they did on paper. Period. End of story. I think starting with Holmes, and to the people out there that say, well, does he have a lot of experience on running a team? I wanted a guy that knows how to run a damn draft. I wanted a guy that specializes in that and has a good opportunity. So what do? They go out and get a guy like John Dorsey to sit there with them. I think it's beautiful. I think the staff that Coach Campbell's put together, same thing. Well, he's only been an interim. How much experience does he have? So he goes and gets guys that have experience, and he goes and gets guys that have a real good reputation. I don't know if you guys were watching the other day when news came down of Deuce Staley coming here.
Yes.
Joique Bell smiled ear to ear. I mean, literally, he goes, "Oh, Deuce is my boy. I love Deuce." I mean, he was so excited. So it's things like that. But okay, is the honeymoon over? I'll wait for the honeymoon to end. Now we have to get back to reality. This roster's awful. I mean, it is. It's a bad roster. And I think, and I'm guilty of it too. Okay, I think we hope is not a strategy, as Jim Schwartz once said, and he's absolutely right. I like the pieces on the offensive line. I think with Decker and Frank Ragnow finally playing in the right darn position the last couple of years, and Jonah Jackson, I think you got a little something there. The Kenny Golladay question is fascinating. I mean, it has to be fascinating to anybody. I would have argued with anybody when this season started he was on the cusp of being a top 10 wide receiver. What do you do now? You know what I mean? I like Swift. I mean, I don't think there's any two ways about that. I like what he brings to the table. But, what are you going to do at wide receiver? And then defensively, and I said this on the broadcast. I mean, who do you look at on that defense right now today and go, oh my gosh, we better beware of that guy. Oh, we gotta scheme away. There's nobody on that defense. We have some hopes. We have some hopes that, a couple young cornerbacks might become something better than they are right now. And by the way, I am not, no way, shape, or form, writing Okudah off. I don't think that's fair. I think Lion fans have a very short memory. A guy by the name of Darius Slay was being called a bust in year one, and he even talked about it. We had a chance to talk to him last week, and he goes, I remember people calling me a bust. So, so there are a couple hopes on the defensive side of the ball, but there isn't one player that the opposition, if you were to do a game plan, that, you're sitting down in the room, the offensive room, and you're going, we got to stay away from this guy. We got to stay away from that guy. There's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, there's nobody that scares, like you said, an opposing offensive coordinators. Like, oh, we got to make sure that we double team this person. We don't want Everson Griffin to bust out his wheelchair and come rolling after us.
We're not double covering Trey Flowers here.
That's Trey Flowers when he does play. So when it comes down to it, and you said it before, that's really where how much of this team should be focused on drafting the right players and how much should we try to pick and choose 2 or 3 from free agency, use that money wisely. Obviously, when other situations have to work themselves out. That's why I love Holmes as a GM, because he comes in here with the experience that he got from working with the Rams in LA and picking up those key pieces in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th and 5th rounds. That's what it takes to make a team competitive and chance for them to win in this league. You have to find those studs in the late rounds.
No, that's exactly it. And you know what? There have been a few, but they were a few and far between. I think you have to look at Kenny, and let's hope that Jonah Jackson continues on the upward trajectory. It's funny. One of the things that Joique and I have been talking about is, like, you look at Martin Mayhew's 2013 draft. Boy, that was a heck of a draft. It really was. Not to go nerdy on you, but go look at that draft and the value that he got in so many of those picks. You just don't see that here. It seems like there's one, and then maybe another one comes 6-7 years later. But I mean, that's what's so important. And I think things are so ass backwards here. A lot of people just get ripped up or wrapped up in the whole let's go get a free agent and everything. It's like, that's not how you build at all. You have to build with that base. You have to go out and as you said, make those draft picks count. And let's hope that this is the year where it starts.
Well, Sean, here's a question for you, because we only have 5 draft picks here in Detroit for this year.
For now.
Yeah, for now. Kenny Golladay, would you put him on the trading block if it meant 3rd and a 4th rounder or a 2nd and a 3rd?
Yes. I would completely bite the bullet, guys. I know I'm in the minority, but you got to remember. I think we talked about it last year. I was ready to draft a quarterback last year. My mindset, and I feel really good about it today, is I knew that they weren't going to, but my mindset a year ago is, how often do you find yourself in that position where, because look at it, the Lions stunk in 2020. That was a really bad football team. Okay. And they only ended up with pick 7. You know what I mean? So that was kind of my mindset about it last year. Now, again, it was a futile argument to have, because you had, a couple of guys in Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia that were fighting to show that they can still do the job. And so what better way to do it than pick a cornerback at number 3? But I think you get my point that, I knew that they weren't going to do it, but I think it would have been the smart move. And, you've seen Green Bay do that. You saw Kansas City do it. And obviously that's worked out quite well for them. But, that's one thing, obviously. I mean, it begins and ends with who's going to be your guy. And, is that guy going to be there at 7 this year? He might be. But how can I accumulate more picks? I mean, hopefully Matthew Stafford gets a pretty good package in return. I think we're all still trying to figure out what that brings in. But what other assets can I give up? Because it's the old adage, and you guys are hockey fans. To get something, you have to give up something, right?
Absolutely.
And to me, it's time to just accept the fact we're not going to be good. This is going to be a couple of years, but let's load up on some draft picks and start anew.
Mm-hmm. And nobody's happier in this call right now than myself, having Matthew Stafford go somewhere else and compete, because as I have 2 Stafford jerseys and so do my kids, and I'm a big fan, but if I have to go and buy a Stafford jersey with a different logo on it, I'll be okay with it, because he will go and we'll see what he can do. But if Detroit can get a couple picks for that, that makes me even happier. It's a win-win. There is no lose in the situation, and it would be really hard for them, Sean, I think, to screw this deal up. What do you think?
Yeah, I feel the same way. I really do. It's one of those things where there appears to be, at least if you hear some of the stuff that's out there right now, it appears that there are a lot of suitors and potential suitors and everything. So let's see how big of a package they can get for this.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Like, I think Jake brought up an interesting point where there is multiple destinations for Stafford where he can go, and teams, it could shape up where it could be a bidding war for Stafford, because I look at a team like the Indianapolis Colts. If the Colts came calling and says, like, we'll give you a second and a third for Stafford, no thanks. We can move on, because if you're getting Stafford, you're getting a lot better than what you guys had last year in a Phillip Rivers. You're getting a younger, better Phillip Rivers. I don't know if that's a compliment or disrespectful, but Stafford, you put Stafford in that system with those receivers, that running game, a running game that he has never had before. I hate to say it, and that good of a defense. Yeah, I could see Stafford and the Colts still playing in the playoffs.
No, and I'm with you. And listen, I mean, I've always felt like Phillip Rivers kind of got a bum rap, okay? But there's no comparison between what Matthew Stafford's arm is right now and what Phillip Rivers' arm is. And I think we saw that as the season wore on, especially, that Hail Mary in their last game and everything. I mean, it was arduous just to get it to the 5-yard line. You know what I mean? I mean, that was something that I think it would be a great spot for him. I know I've heard Washington a lot. How would that work in Washington? I think that'd be a good place for him, because certainly they have some pieces and everything. I have felt this way about Matthew Stafford for years. I think he's developed into a darn good quarterback, and I know we've had that conversation. I had my issues with him 5-6 years ago because I thought he made too many mistakes. And if I'm doing my job and I'm in the business of being fair as far as I'm concerned, when you see the mistakes go down, you have to give credit where credit is due. So I give him credit, and it just bugs me because I know he's going to go have success elsewhere. I know he is, and it's just going to be another kick in the groin to us.
But you say kick in the groin. Yeah, you don't. It hurts me when I saw Justin Verlander win a World Series ring with another team. That did bug me. But he did pay his dues, and he served his time in Detroit. I say serve his time like he's doing a jail sentence. And that's what's Matthew Stafford. He's finally getting out of jail. He's finally getting to go somewhere where he can actually flourish in the national spotlight. Now, could that be, if that's in San Francisco or Indianapolis, or a wild card like the New York Jets? Who knows? But he deserves a chance to go and get his title.
Absolutely. And you know what? He's a great guy. I mean, he really is. And I think he and his wife, not enough is said about, some of the stuff that they've done, guys, in the past, few years, again, from philanthropy and all that stuff. But, it's interesting. And I don't know if you listened to Courtney and I on the broadcast, and, Joique and I talking about it. The writing was on the wall. You could read the tea leaves. And this was really a situation, guys, where everything kind of pointed at it. It was just time, and to me, it wasn't so much what Matthew Stafford said. It was what he didn't say. He didn't sound like a guy that was interested in going through, another Lion rebuild again. I mean, it wasn't there. And, again, it's too bad. The Lions are losing. I'm not going to put him in the same category as Barry and Calvin Johnson or anything like that. But you can't lose good players. You just can't lose good players. And here we are, Lions going Lions, and finding themselves in that position again.
Exactly. Just want to touch on the ownership. This is obviously Sheila Ford Hamp is took the reins of this team now and really made it her team. Was this always a part of Sheila's plan, or was this, hey, the past obviously didn't work out for whatever my mom did or my father did, so I'm going to try this. I'm going to go the complete opposite of running an NFL franchise. And it's getting some national attention, especially after that Dan Campbell meltdown, positive press conference. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. where
that was a wrestling promo. That's what that was.
That was. I can't wait to see him in the Royal Rumble this weekend. Yeah.
Hey, listen, to answer your question, and I think if you're going to be fair, if you're even going to pretend to be fair, I can't judge her by what her father did. And I would hope that my children are not going to be judged by what their idiot father did. You know what I mean? I'm going to try to judge her on her own merit. And, I know asking Lion fans to show some patience is the most unfair thing in the history of mankind. It just is. You guys know that. I'm tired of hearing crap like that. But I think the reality with her is we do have to see what her ship is going to be like. I mean, the easy thing to do is, she's just like her father and things like that. I don't think that's fair. I just don't think that's fair. And I think so far she's shown that she, she cares. This bothers her. I mean, there's the famous photo of her, at the game with her hands over her face, trying to hide the disdain for what was going on. So, I hate to say this, Lion fans, but I think we're all going to have to be patient and take a wait and see.
It's like we're walking through the desert and someone saying, "Oh yeah, the water is just a little further down the road."
Yep. That's a good analogy. Heck yeah.
That's exactly what's happening.
Sean, if you can tell our audience where they can find you and Joique, and tell us about your new about your show and what we can look forward to that's coming up in the future.
Yeah, we're on 11 to 1 every day at Woodward Sports and woodwardsports.com. We're streaming on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook Live or whatever it is. I don't know what it is. Facebook or Facebook Live. I don't know what it is. One of those things. But yeah, it's every day we're just talking about what's going on in the sporting world and some other stuff as well. It's not. I'm not going to lie to you. It's not 100% sports. It's obviously very sports heavily inclined and everything. So. We're on 11 to 1 every day, and then I'm doing a barbecue show, and then, as I mentioned, Darren McCarty and I are doing a show on WJR on Friday nights, and I'm still popping around doing some shows on JR as well. So yeah, it's fun. It's it's a little different this year, obviously, for a myriad of reasons, but trying to keep busy and trying to have some fun, and I love doing things like this and chatting with guys like you, because it's even if for 10-15 minutes things kind of feel normal. We're just, the guys are sitting around shooting the shit and talking sports and everything, and I think we all need a little bit more of that in our lives.
That's absolutely
for sure. Absolutely. Sean, we appreciate you coming on. Just before you go, really quick, we need a Super Bowl winner from you. Is it the
here
Chiefs,
we go.
or is it Tampa Bay?
You know what? I got to go with the Chiefs. I do, and I know I feel sick going against Brady. I just do. I feel sick going against him. But that Chief, there aren't many teams that you can look at and say, this team can turn it on. They're one of them. I watched them turn on. They did not look good down the stretch. They did not look good. And then, boy, by golly, the playoffs start, and all of a sudden there they go. I mean, they looked so good in particular against Buffalo this past Sunday. So I'm going to go with the Chiefs. How about I'll go 31-24.
All right, there you go. You heard it there.
There we go.
Chiefs going to repeat, according to Sean Baligian. Sean, once again, thank you for joining us on the ADG podcast. We wish you nothing but success on your new shows, and give our love to Joique Bell. He is a true class all the way. And enjoy the hockey. I believe the Leafs are playing right now, so make sure you turn that on.
Nobody watches the Leafs.
Hey.
Thanks, boys. Hey, chat anytime. No problem.
Thanks, Sean. We appreciate it.
So get into rest of the sports.
Let's get into sports.
Yeah,
there's lots to talk about there.
We covered the Lions pretty good, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I there is, but we did, but I don't know. If you look at the whole Matthew Stafford situation, I'm so pumped up about it. Like we gotta.
Jake, I've never seen you this. I never heard you this excited talking about Matthew Stafford before.
Well, if you saw my TikTok today that I put up there, because yes, my dumbass is on TikTok. I was showing off my Lions swag because I'm excited about this team for the first time in a very long time. I think like 11 years. I've been excited about this team since they got destroyed in the playoff game versus the Saints on my birthday way back when. I'm excited about this team. I'm excited about what's possible, not what's happening, but what's possible. Right, new coaching staff, new defensive coordinator, new general manager. If you think about the possibilities of trading Stafford, which we will, but what they're going to get, there's possibilities of getting more draft picks. And we got the guy to give us those quality draft picks, hopefully. Again, I'm being positive. This is very strange. But
you're starting to scare me.
This team's going to be garbage for the next year or two. It is. But draft picks, people. This is how you build. Sean said it when he was on the show.
Yeah. But you know what?
It counts.
And Jake, you said this team's going to be garbage, but we're going to be garbage with a purpose. There's a reason why we're going to be a garbage, and like the Tigers and the Pistons
and the Red Wings.
Pretty much.
Trash.
And the Red Wings.
They're great now.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. They're fun to watch. They're fun. They're not losing every game.
No. They're well. Okay. No. Anyways. So no. Obviously, I like it because you know what it is, Jake. It's like a rebirth, with this Lions franchise. I hope this is a culture change because we actually have a head coach that cares about his physical appearance.
What? He'd have a pencil in his ear?
He doesn't have a pencil in his ear. He's actually done a push-up in his life.
Oh, shit. No moo-moos then. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
there's going to be no moo-moos that you're going to be seeing from this
genius.
guy.
Okay.
These guys going to have, fucking tank top and just showing off the guns, showing off those sexy kneecaps of his, and then you're just
going to actually show them how to play where he needs to demonstrate.
Well, I don't know if he's going to show them how to play, but you got to like the people that he's surrounding himself with.
Yes.
Anthony Lynn. Here's the guy, good offensive mind, former head coach as your offensive coordinator. Aaron Glenn on the defensive side of the ball. This guy is, from what I've read, he's on a fast track to be a head coach in this league. So if he can turn around this pathetic Lions defense, he should have any job he wants when he decides to go for the head coaching gig. Nothing wrong with that. And just like what Sean said, Deuce Staley coming on board, and they got a special teams coordinator that they poached from the Eagles as well. So it's something that tells you about what Holmes and Campbell have, that people want to come to Detroit. They're excited about this new culture and this new rebirth.
Let's hope. Let's hope. Let's be honest with people, though. The banner on our Facebook page isn't going away. It's still going to say "Sell the team."
Sell the team
until things start to change on an annual
Yes.
basis into a positive.
Yes.
We want to be the Kansas City Chiefs. We want to be Miami. We want to be, listen to this one, we want to be Cleveland. Okay?
How
Because,
about that?
hey, it's making the playoffs, making runs.
And you know what? We have the guy that drafted your Patrick Mahomes, that drafted your Baker Mayfields. He's there in our draft room and in the GM chair along with Rob Agnew and Brad Holmes. So Brad Holmes, maybe a first-time GM in the league, but he has veterans around him to help him and to craft the best team possible. And there's going to be growing pains this year, no doubt. But Rome wasn't built in a day. But Jake, here's a little scenario I want to throw out to you, and you tell me if you would be okay with this. Let's say Lions have the 7th overall pick in this draft, and all the top quarterbacks are gone. I'm talking about obviously Lawrence is gone, Wilson is gone, Fields is gone.
Yeah.
Trey Lance is even gone before.
Oh God. Okay.
Okay. So obviously, we're talking that Matthew Stafford is gone. We're talking Kenny Galladay is gone. What do? Do you try to fill this hole first or that hole first, or do you trade back that 7th round pick to get more picks?
And I'm gonna go with the scenario I always do because I think this scenario works and nobody ever listens to it. One of two things. I'm gonna give you two options. One, you stay at the 7th pick and you pick the best available player that your team is in need of. And if you say corner, I'm going to hurt somebody. No. You need defensive tackles. Okay, you don't have any.
No. You know what you need? You need linebackers. You don't have any.
Yes, you don't have it. That's right. But I think
Davis, Giovanni Tavai, who?
Yeah, exactly. They're crap. That's right. But that's the other coach's problem. But they're not here anymore. But the position of need at that point when you don't have a quarterback. Number one would be defensive tackle, defensive end. I'm thinking that.
Yeah.
Now, second option is what you just mentioned. Trade back down, pick up more picks, and then start filling in the gaps that way. If you don't have a quarterback, there's a solution to that. How much are you paying your backup? $3 million a year. That's not bad. That's a suitable replacement for 1 year while your team builds its building blocks on all their positions. And guess what? Next year, you could be in the position of picking in the top 3.
Yeah. No, that's very possible. There's talks that someone like a Ryan Fitzpatrick, Tyrod Taylor, that's more of a Band-Aid solution while you over a 1 year of transition until you suck enough where you can get that quarterback you really need.
Darren,
so,
are you telling me, Darren, that you would be all about Fitzmagic up in Detroit?
I would be Motor City Fitzmagic, my friend.
See, if we listen to what I was saying last year,
Motor City Magic.
If they listened to what I was saying last year and it's on the record, I would have gotten Tua, and guess what? You would have been set.
Yeah, but now there's talks that Miami may not be too happy with Tua. Maybe they go someone else. Maybe they take Fields at 3.
I'll take Tua. I'll bring him to Detroit.
Oh, geez.
I've seen him play this year. He was good.
He looks very good, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens. And there's so many. The real true tell sign will be what they get for Stafford. Obviously, Obviously, the closer you get to that cutoff point where he's owed a $10 million bonus or something like that, obviously he's going to be traded before that. Yep. But it's going to be different seeing him in a different uniform.
Yeah, you think you're going to get a first rounder for him?
I think that's where the minimum is, Jake. I'm telling you.
Because you know what you can do. If you get a team that you can trade the 7th and whatever they get first round for him and trade those 2 picks for, I don't know, somewhere in the top 3, whoever doesn't need a quarterback that badly, you'd be in business.
Yeah. No, it's true. And Jake, just say like if we get a first and a third, okay? Let's say Indy ponies up and gives us a first and a third.
Yep.
Do you spend one of those picks in the first round and then you take the other one and you trade back to acquire more picks?
Oh, hell no. If I have 2 first-round picks, I'm going in the top 3 and getting my quarterback of the future.
Ooh.
Oh, no. In that case scenario, boom, I'm getting it.
That was going to be my next question. Do you somehow package those 2 first-round picks to get your Zach Wilson?
Fuck anybody. Anybody in the top 5.
Anyone in the top 5. Quarterback.
I'll take
wow.
Him. Yep. Don't care.
But let's say Justin Fields. I know everyone is very, he didn't have a great national championship game.
No.
But he's still a good quarterback. Let's say he's there at 7. Do you take it? Do you take him?
Yes, 100%.
Even though,
and I'll tell you why. Wow. I'll tell you why. And I know why you're asking, but do you remember who for Ohio State was a top pick in the last year's draft?
Last year's draft?
Number two. He went number 2.
That defensive end. Chase Young. Yeah.
Chase Young had a horrible last few games for Ohio State. Mm-hmm. Horrible. He was non-existent. He didn't have a good.
Yeah, because everyone was double teaming him.
That's right. And so look at Fields going into the national championship. He got to the national championship.
Yep.
Okay. He had great performances. You got to look at That's right. So you got to look at that. If this kid can do that much in a short period of time, he can do a lot more for you if you give him time to build. That'll be a great pickup.
Okay. Well, so there you go. So Jake has that coming in. We should start I'm gonna start it on this episode, but every episode I will be giving out the latest mock draft from someone. I'll find a random mock draft. This one is from Pro Football Focus, so pretty respected football site. So here is their mock draft that they have right now for the 2021 NFL draft. Obviously, Jacksonville Jaguars is going to take Trevor Lawrence from Clemson. No surprise there. Number 2, this is where it gets interesting here, Jake. Okay. Number 2, the New York Jets select quarterback Justin Fields from Ohio State.
Yep, as they should.
Wow.
As they should.
And then number 3, your Miami Dolphins. They take the number 3rd overall pick, Devonta Smith, wide receiver out of Alabama.
Ooh. I don't know about that one. But okay.
Okay.
I don't know about that one. He's like 5'9".
Who cares? The guy can catch anything.
Oh, okay.
And number 4, this is like the most obscured mock draft I've seen so far. Number 4, the Atlanta Falcons. They need a quarterback and other stuff as well. They take linebacker Micah Parsons from Penn State. Yeah. Oh, okay. It's crazy. Number 5, the Cincinnati Bengals take tackle Penei Sewell, the best tackle in the draft. So there you go. Number 6, the Philadelphia Eagles take wide receiver Jamar Chase from LSU. Jamar Chase, who didn't play at all in this past COVID-friendly year. And number 7, who do you think the Detroit Lions select according to Pro Football Focus?
I have a really bad feeling they say cornerback.
It's not a cornerback. I'll give you one clue. It's not a cornerback.
Okay. Could be a wide receiver.
No, it's not a wide receiver. And
so who do you got?
And at number 7, your Detroit Lions take from the University of Alabama, Christian Barmore.
Christian Barmore.
All right. He says he's a defensive line player.
Okay.
Defensive end. He can defensive interior, they call it. And
Okay.
the reasoning was like, okay, hear me out. New general manager Brad Holmes comes from the Rams, where he played a big role in drafting Aaron Donald. Christian Barmore is the first of a long line of future interior defenseman linemen who have caught Darnold fever and try to mold their game after him. Barmore is so nimble for a big man, it's incredible. He showed out on a limited snaps of in 2019. But and while he probably didn't play at his absolute best throughout the whole regular season, he was back to being his dominant self when the college football playoffs rolled around, earning a 91.3 pass rush grade over the final 2 games of his championship winning season. It's not as if the Lions don't need a pass rush either. So there you go.
See, this was what I said earlier. This would be if they had to stay there. There was no quarterbacks on the board at the tackle.
That's
Dang,
right.
look at that. But remember, this is all before the workouts, before everything else,
Obviously,
before the
yeah.
combines. So this is going to change like a billion times. But it's nice to do. I like that. I like the idea. We should definitely do this every time.
Exactly. So there you go.
Cool.
And just for fun, because I know we talked about him, Zach Wilson, according to them, gets drafted 12th overall to the San Francisco 49ers.
Also, 49ers is a future possibility for Matthew Stafford's new home.
That's possible as well. So there you go. So next episode we'll do a different mock draft. See what the Lions pick.
That's right. Awesome. Cool. There you go. Is that sports?
That's sports.
All right. Movie trailer review time.
Yes. Oh, Jake is so excited. I'm just going to sit back and let him go.
You know, I've watched the preview trailer and then the actual trailer, right? Like when it came out.
How many times?
A couple. The kids had to see it, so
a couple hundred times. A couple hundred times.
So if you guys saw that from the preview of our show, yes, it's Godzilla versus Kong. Is the movie trailer review, and I'll kick this off by saying, oh my goodness, it looks good, looks like fun, and I picked up. It looks like it's a lot of action. It's the next Godzilla movie, and if you look at the trailer, it's a lot of fighting, a lot of really good effects. Like I love the way the whole trailer looked, and not to be too geeky on it. But I picked up on something. I picked up on something, and also my oldest kid picked up on this too. Is they're making Godzilla be the evil guy this time around, which is pretty interesting because I hate King Kong. I hate King Kong, and I hated the game. I hate the cartoons. I hate everything King Kong. I hate it. It's a big monkey. I don't give a shit. But I'm a big fan of Godzilla. So that kind of threw me off. I was like, yeah, damn, that's what I thought. And my kid saw it. I'm like, damn, okay, that's cool. That makes sense now. And it's just a smart kid. So this wasn't even really anything that obvious in the trailer. So that kind of threw me off. That might be an interesting movie. And only one can survive is the title. And what pissed me off about the trailer is they're giving King Kong like accessories. Like it's a hammer and shit. I'm like, who the hell? Who made him a hammer? Fuck. But just me geeking out on the trailer. It's a lot of stuff to digest, but it kind of goes away from the cool Godzilla movies. The last couple that we had, they were really good. And now it kind of gets into the weird kind of vibe where King Kong's supposed to be bigger, and then they give him a backstory, whatever. But yeah, I'm not going to spoil the trailer. Check it out. I liked it. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5.
Wow. 4 out of 5. I was expecting a solid 5 out of 5 from you, Jake.
No. Let's be real.
I just like that they're fighting on an aircraft carrier. That's pretty awesome right there. And they talk about like King Kong has a weapon, but Godzilla he's pretty much like one giant weapon. He has his back or whatever the proper term is for those pointy
vertebrae.
Vertebrae, sure. Let's go with that. Like that's a weapon itself. So I think Kong could definitely use a swinging hammer or axe or whatever he had in there.
He's not throwing barrels anyway.
Yeah. So you know what? It looks crazy stupid, and the effects look pretty cool. So it looks like something that I would definitely check out. Obviously, Warner Brothers. This is a Warner Brothers picture, so it's going to be shown in theaters and also on HBO Max on the same day.
Perfect.
So it's perfect for you, Jake. You don't even have to go to
the
the You don't even have to go to theater anymore.
It sounds like a plan.
That's it. So yeah, Godzilla.
There you go. What'd you give it?
You know what? Because I know you're a big fan of it, I'll give it a solid 3.5 out of 5.
Oh wow, so generous on your 0.5.
I can't tie you like that. I think that would not be nice because you're like the biggest Godzilla fan that I know.
There you go.
So, there you go.
All right.
Definitely worth checking out.
Nice.
So Jake, before do we want to do top 5?
Yeah, let's do top 5.
Oh, let's get into top 5 time.
Top 5. We're gonna follow this up because of our trailer, and you're like, "Oh my god, you should do this one." So I'm like, "Might as well." And since I'm lazy, I'm like, "Well, I'll go with that idea."
Thanks for not making me think of one.
That's right, because I know this one top of my head. So here's top 5 big monster movies that I like personally. So don't hate me. Don't go to IMDb and start throwing movies. I don't give a shit about your opinion. This is my opinion. That's why it's my show.
Are these the greatest monster movies according to you of all time?
Yes, these are the movies that I will literally watch every time they're on TV. Okay. So, and again, this is just my list.
Yep.
Don't need Karen's yelling in the email section here. Okay. Number 5. Go ahead.
I don't think Karens watch monster movies, but okay.
Or listen to our podcast. You never know.
Or them.
Right.
Anyways, go ahead.
Number 5. Here's an obscure movie. Number 5 on my list called The Mist. It's the Stephen King movie that was made into a TV show, but I actually like the movie better because it was much closer to the book that I also read. The Mist. Really fun movie. It's about like a giant thick fog that comes and covers the entire town, and then there's stuff in the fog, and I'm not gonna spoil it, but big monsters. There you go. Right. Number 5. Number 4. It's a classic. Number 4 is a classic, and if you haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. Go see it. And only see the first one, maybe the second one, but the first one only. It's called Tremors. Tremors is a fun monster movie. It's about giant sandworms. Just just out there.
The first one came out in 1990.
It's a very long time ago. Yes. Yeah. So much fun. Such a good movie. Good cast too. Kevin Bacon.
Kevin Bacon.
I know. All right, number 3. It's a movie that I really like because you can't go wrong with giant robots and giant monsters, and it's Pacific Rim. And again, the first one. Really good. Big monsters, big robots, decent storyline, great quality movie. Check that out. Number 2, not shocking at all, Godzilla from 2014. One of my favorite Godzilla movies out there. Love it. Not the 1986 movie. That was trash. 2014. Check it out.
What was it? Godzilla 2000, the one that had the Puff Daddy theme song?
Yeah, that was Godzilla 1996. Yeah, that had the Puff Daddy theme song. Yeah, that was awful.
Come with me.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the only thing.
I think the soundtrack sold more than the movie ticket.
I think I had that soundtrack, or at least I
the Wallflowers on there. That was pretty good.
Yeah, I think I got the song from LimeWire when that movie came out.
Who didn't? And some viruses with the song. All right, and number 1. For anybody that knows me and knows anything about me and movies, my number 1 is a solid number 1, and there's probably one of the better monster movies out there. Cloverfield.
Excellent movie.
Yes.
Excellent movie.
So that's my number.
Good. That's a good list. That's a very good list. So there you go. There's Jakub's top 5 greatest monster movies of all time, according to Jakub.
That's right.
If you disagree with him, then you're the real monster.
Yeah. Or email us at hgpodcast@gmail.com. Find us everywhere on all social media.
There you go.
Podcast. We're there. We'll talk about it.
In the words of Jerry the King Lawler, cheap pop.
Cheap pop.
All right. So that's good. Jake, I don't know. Do you have a rant or?
I got a rant, but I think you got something better that's coming up this.
Yeah. Oh, this Sunday. Oh yes. Let's get into it.
It's my favorite event in January.
To me,
all time.
Oh no, I think this is my favorite event of sports entertainment event.
Yeah, it tops the main ones. It tops WrestleMania for me. There's no other event that I like better than this one.
Exactly.
That's Royal Rumble.
The Royal Rumble. It's one of our favorites. 30 men enter one ring, and the winner is the last man standing. Obviously, this Royal Rumble is going to be different, obviously, because of COVID. There's going to be no fans, or there's going to be fans, but they're all going to be a whole bunch of screens, and they fight in the what is it, Thunderdome, whatever they call it.
Something.
But I'm just looking at it like going back, and I was like on YouTube, and I was browsing like the Royal Rumbles of the Attitude Era, and another thing of like what the Attitude Era was so good at is those Rumbles were always exciting. Yes. I'm not saying that like today's Rumbles aren't as exciting, but I don't know, it was something different that you knew that there was going to be that loud pop when you hear who was coming in when they counted down 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, it was unpredictable back then.
You didn't know. You didn't know if it was Stone Cold or Drew Carey coming down.
Right.
Exactly. So obviously we were talking about favorite Rumble moments earlier. Like, I don't know about you, Jake. To me, I think one of the greatest ones was when Mr. McMahon won the Royal Rumble.
Oh,
I think
really?
that was a great one. That one, and when Ric Flair won the championship. And
that is my favorite one right there, when he screwed Hulk Hogan and Sid Vicious. That's my favorite one. Best speech of all time.
Oh yes, the post match interview was stuff of legends.
Mr. Perfect.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That was Kurt Hennig was the best. Yeah, but like that one, or you could say Shawn Michaels, scaling back up the ropes, only having 1 foot down. So many great Rumble moments. Obviously, there was that one. I forget who it was. 3 seconds, and then he was eliminated by Hulk Hogan. I think but he wasn't the fastest one to be eliminated. I think it was Santino. Was the fastest one to be eliminated. It was like 1 second. He was in the Rumble. So
probably.
Just like those good times like that. I don't know. Me, I don't really watch wrestling anymore except for like the Rumble or WrestleMania, because it's all just, who are these people nowadays? I don't know.
Yeah, it's not as good storytelling wise and build up wise. And that's the same thing. I don't watch anything except the WrestleMania or Royal Rumble, and that's it.
Yeah. No, and back when they had live events, like those were the only 2 real shows to go to.
Oh, for sure.
Like we were lucky enough to go to Survivor Series back in the day when it was at Joe Louis Arena.
That's
great time. Great time.
Yep.
I still have my foam little spinner belt.
There you go. I got my spinner belt at WrestleMania in Detroit.
Oh. Yeah. Now is this a real spinner belt? Or
real, yeah. The real one.
So you and my brother-in-law have the exact same belt.
Mm-hmm. I'm trying to trade in for the winged blue one. Or the Intercontinental Blue Championship.
The white one? The white?
Yes, that would be tremendous. So I know Mr. Perfect had the blue one too, but the white one's really nice.
The white one is nice. Jake's a big Mr. Perfect fan.
Yes. Hilarious. Great character. Great heel. I actually got to see him live at Fan Access in Toronto.
Did you?
So that was pretty good. Yeah.
That's awesome. Did you get a photo with him?
No, I did not. He was in the ring, and I was just outside of the ring. He was doing like an mock interview and stuff. No, I hung out with JR and the King, though. That was cool. I hung out with those guys, got a picture with them. Stone Cold is actually a pretty big dude, and Kevin Nash is fucking gigantic. And you know me, I'm 6'3", but when I stood talking to Kevin Nash, I was looking like straight up, literally in the air. This guy's giant.
I'm trying to call him Big Daddy Cool. Big Daddy Cool.
Exactly. But there you go. Us geeking out on old wrestling, and that's what we should come back.
I love the old wrestling. Anytime I can just sneak onto YouTube and just watch old wrestling matches from like my youth, I'm there. That's a pretty good rabbit hole to fall down.
Yeah, you know what we should do? You should have a Royal Rumble night and just get a bunch of Rumbles and just watch them. Old ones. Just like we weren't gonna know who's coming out next. I don't even remember who wins. Just fun to watch.
Exactly. I think it was the '92 Rumble is the one that's the Ric Flair. It's on YouTube. You can watch a whole match on YouTube.
I love it.
Which is fantastic.
That's the only one I actually own.
Do you?
Yeah.
There you go. So there you go.
It's a good one.
Yeah, because I really don't need to buy the whole WWE network, whatever it costs a month, when you can just watch a couple matches on YouTube. Speaking of WWE, did you hear that NBC is buying the TV rights, I guess, or the network, whatever, and put it on their Peacock platform for $1 billion.
Yes. What the fuck is Peacock? Is that the online streaming service?
It's NBC's online streaming platform.
Yeah. Okay. That's great. Yeah. Can we get it in Canada? No.
No. We can't get that. We can't get HBO Max. It's a complete joke.
Fucking Trudeau, work on that.
No, we have to get forget the vaccines.
Yeah.
Send us HBO Max, Trudeau.
In the meantime, while you're not doing that, get us some HBO Max.
There you go. But no, we got to settle for Crave, whatever Crave has on it. And also, I just gotta say, if you get a chance to watch it, the Tiger Woods documentary that HBO did, beautiful. Really?
Nice.
Beautiful.
Is there a lot of car breaking, windshield smashing?
Yes.
Awesome.
Part 2 is they go all into the bad side of Tiger and his womanizing, his popping pills, strippers, hookers.
Nice.
Whatever.
Terrific.
They showed the dash cam footage of him getting pulled over. He was so gone. He took so many different pills. I don't even know how he was standing. But yeah, it's definitely goes from his humble beginnings to the big time to the fall of
the rise and fall of Tiger Woods. And then rising.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I have that bookmarked actually on Netflix, so I'll be watching that.
I don't think it's on Netflix.
Not Netflix? I don't know.
No, it's an HBO.
HBO?
If you got Crave.
I have it saved. It's coming. I'll be watching that one. I have so many shows saved to watch. I'm trying to finish up Glow right now, speaking of wrestling.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Really good show. Enjoying the first 2 seasons, in the middle of the season 3 right now. So
Beautiful.
That's, it's a good show. But one after the other.
Another thing I want to get your thoughts on before we wrap it up. Michigan has finally legalized, and it's kicked off its online sports betting or single game sports betting in Michigan. It's now legal. They kicked it off last Friday. Which was great. Barstool, who is a big, huge company in the States.
No, I'm a big fan of those guys.
Yeah. They came down, so they have the Barstool Sportsbook at Greektown Casino. And so the whole crew came down, Dave Portnoy and all that.
I watched their live feed. It was hilarious.
It was pretty good. For some reason, he bet $100,000 on the Red Wings to win. I'm like, what an idiot.
You don't bet on Detroit, ever.
Yeah, but this guy's a millionaire, so...
Yeah, no, he doesn't give a shit.
100,000 to him, it's like nothing. So he did that. He did Michigan. He bet $100,000 each on each Michigan Pistons, Red, and then of course the two football games on Sunday. So it's fun. I can't wait to get over there when the border opens up. Go put a little money on some wagers, maybe on future Lions.
Okay, easy there.
Depends on what the over/under is.
Easy there.
Depends on what the over/under is, Jake. You never know.
Yeah, I don't know. The only team locally I would bet on is the mighty Michigan basketball team. That's a good basketball team right there.
Oh, they're very good. Now, I
Yeah.
just hope that they haven't peaked before March Madness rolls around.
Yeah, well, that's true. I hope not either. But
You
if
know?
they play like this, it'd be nice to see them in the Final Four. That'd be terrific.
Final Four. Wow. Are you calling it already? Michigan in the Final Four?
Oh, they better.
So,
The way they're playing, they have to.
they
You can't
better.
look this good and not make it that far. But who knows? I watched a lot of college basketball lately, and there's some decent teams, but Michigan looks really strong. So I'll be surprised. I'll be shocked if they're not in the Final Four.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. So there you
That's
go.
what it is. But yeah, anyway,
We'll
I got
see
a
what
rant.
happens. Oh, rant time.
Mm-hmm.
Rant it up.
Let's
Rant
finish
it up.
this off with a rant. So for today's episode, I got an interesting rant because, yeah, we have to. You watch commercials on TV and they try to make them relatable and stuff like that. And you guys know we have to wear masks. Obviously, you go out in public spaces like a store or something. But I'm watching this commercial on TV, and they're trying to sell furniture, and the people in this commercial are wearing masks. Huh? What? Really? How does that make sense? You're showing me a commercial for furniture, and your customers in the commercial, in a controlled environment, are wearing masks. Okay, two problems with that. One, never. What? Why is it just because it's happening now doesn't mean it's always going to happen? Two, why are you normalizing the situation? It's not going to be like this for a very long time. It might end this year. Masks won't be mandatory forever. It's just until this thing is done, which slowly getting away from that already. Now, again, you're normalizing something on TV that that shouldn't be normalized. It's not like it's one of those things people say, "Oh, the new normal." No, fuck the new normal. I want the old normal back. Okay, there's nothing normal about the new. I want the old normal back. So something like this pisses me off because it normalizes what's happening when it shouldn't be. I don't want to wear a mask. I don't. It's not pleasure to have shit covering my face and breathing into myself. No, not cool. So I don't want that on TV normalized. Well, and again, it's just one company that did it. It makes no sense to me, and it's actually stupid because now they can't even use that commercial. Now let's try looking at the commercial, let's say 12 months from now, because they reuse commercials a lot. You're going to have nobody wearing masks anymore, and those fuckers have masks in their commercial. How does that make sense? Again, it's just normalizing something that's not necessary. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that pisses me off, and it's a big waste of money. But it's just an influence that we just don't need out there. You know, just make things look normal. So once we get back to it, we'll all be back to our regular normal. That's my rant for today.
There you go. Well done. Good rant.
There you go.
There
you go. That's the show today. Again, we thank Sean Baligian for joining Darren and myself on some awesome sports talk. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Find us everywhere you find a podcast, ADG Podcast. Search for that. Or check out our social media at ADG Podcast everywhere, except TikTok, because I don't think we want to do an AG. That would be weird. We're in different spots. But yeah.
I think one TikTok with Jake is enough. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. My viewers are popping right now. No, they're not. Got like 2 on my last video. Yeah, go check it out. But check out our socials. We'll be tagging Sean in them. You guys can enjoy that interview. It was pretty informative. It was pretty good. We love having him on. And yeah, we'll see what happens by the time we get to the next show.
All right. That's awesome. Well, we hope you enjoy the show. Just like Jake said, make sure to like, subscribe, check us out, follow us on all social media platforms. We'll try to get some more good content, breaking news, if it happens, up on our social media channels as best we can. And maybe we'll throw in another interview. We can get certain people to message us back. Will be great.
It never happens in podcasting.
Never happens.
But there you go. It was a good show. All right. We hope you guys tune in next time. Like and share, like Darren said. And I'm Jakub.
And I'm Darren.
And we are EDG.